Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here for the second season in MotoGP. Now this episode we've got the Chang International Circuit and we can actually wrap up the championship here. Once again obviously we failed to do so in Aragon unfortunately, but this time it's more guaranteed. We only need to have a 100-point lead leaving this race, so we need to not be outscored by 8 points to Marquez, so we don't even have to beat him this time. We can just finish behind him. Marc Marquez, the only rider that can actually affect us in the World Championship. As you can see, everybody else is pretty far behind, but actually quite a close battle from 3rd down to 8th position there. You can see Pollersbagger a little bit drifting off the back there. Similarly to the Riders' Championship, the Constructors' Championship can also be wrapped up. We need to we need to not be outscored by the leading Honda by 7 points. So as long as we finish within 7 points of the leading Honda, we win the Constructors' Championship, and obviously we'll probably win the Riders' Championship by that same merit, of course, because the leading Honda, whether that's Marquez or not, within 7 points, that's enough to win the championship. So hopefully we can wrap up both the Constructors and the Riders' Championships in this race. We'd need a 190-point lead coming out of this race to win the Teams Championship, which actually is theoretically possible. So it's possible for us to actually do the triple sweep in this race, I believe, if I've not done my maths wrong. I could have done. It's not very likely that we'll do that though, because we'll really need to outscore Repsol Honda. So the Teams Championship not wrapped up yet, but being 170 points in the lead with 5 races to go, I don't think we're going to lose it. It's just more of a case of when we win it. I think we'll probably win it with 2 or 3 rounds to go, most likely, but it is theoretically possible for us to win all 3 championships. So we'll have to see how we get on with that one. Obviously Repsol Honda are our closest targets, however Monster Energy Yamaha are also really close, and Mission winner Ducati are not a million miles off as well, so we've got to watch out for those 3, basically the main 3 teams you would expect to be battling with for the Constructors' Championship. So with all the recap out of the way, let's head into the Thai GP. I'll see you down in qualifying 1, and I'm hoping that it'll be dry weather and we can just get on with it and do some good lap times. So here we are then, here in Thailand at the Chang International Circuit. You can see it is sunny skies, so I got the weather conditions that I wanted. Of course, having to be in the rain for the last race wasn't particularly too fun, and there's actually been a lot of wet weather this season. But fortunately we are here in the dry now, so let's see who we're in qualifying 1 with. So Morbidelli, Binder, Petrucci, Nakagami, Bagnaia, Lecuona, Cal Crutchlow, Aleix Espargaro, Jorge Martin, Joan Zarco, Tito Rabat, Alex Marquez, and of course myself. So we just need to try and get through. Actually should be fairly easy because sort of are just slower riders in this qualifying 1, but Morbidelli and probably Binder will be the ones to look out for. Maybe Bagnaia could cause some trouble as well. Maybe Alex Marquez. We'll just have to see how it goes. So we'll start the session now then, and hopefully we can go through fairly easily without any issues. So soft, that's what I want. So yeah, everything's sorted, so we'll head out onto the track and let's see what we can do. So as we go down towards the final turn, I will have to spend a couple of laps adapting to this bike, I am sure, because it's been a while since I've actually ridden this bike or played this game for that matter. Took a few days off from it. So as we go towards the first corner, you've got to brake fairly early for the first corner here, a lot earlier than you'd actually expect because you want to be able to carry the speed through the turn. We've not really done that too well, to be honest. Someone's coming out the pit lane just in front of us. It is a red bike. I'm not sure it is. It's Brad Binder. Ah, okay, yeah, I see it's the orange. I thought it was red, but it's actually the orange with the KTM. We passed Binder on the inside, 6/10 down in the first sector. That is unbelievable. We've actually just been repassed by Brad here, so we're not having it so easy right now. The bike is wheeling so much. As you can see, we've not upgraded the bike a massive amount, but side by side with Brad Binder, there we go, past him we go, so we won't hold us up on the rest of this lap. So brake for this tricky turn 4. Not a favourite corner of mine, especially online when people like to go off the track massively. Braking into 5, we're now almost a second down on the time, so we definitely got to find something on this next lap. I'll actually turn the fuel down so we can go for a few more laps, because it looks like we're definitely going to need it. As we go through 7, slide in the rear end, I can hear Brad on the KTM all over the back of us. We hit the brakes and I think we've got a little bit too hot for turn 8 actually. But it's not the end of the world because we've kept it on the circuit. 1.4 seconds off now, so maybe it is the end of the world. We are miles off at the time, and Brad Binder's definitely looking for a way past us. Hopefully if he can actually get past us, he'll give us a bit of slipstream and he won't hold us up or anything. Down towards the final turn, again hitting the brakes. Probably a little bit too early, just trying to get used to the bike. Through the last corner, we've actually done that fairly well. It's probably one of the better corners we've done on the laps. As we come up towards the line then, 131.1, I don't know exactly how far that was off pole, but that is 5th place, so we'll have to keep going because we need to be first in this session to actually go through to the second one. because of course there is that glitch where if you are second, you start 15th on the grid, which is a bit weird. So braking for the final turn, then you can see we were fastest in the first 2 sectors, only personal best in the third one, so it'll be interesting to see what it is when we come up towards the line. What's it going to be compared to Morbidelli? 1/10 off, so that's only third place, so we're going to have to keep going for one more lap, but the rear tyre is getting pretty hot here. Coming up towards the line at the end of this lap, then a bit of a wheelie out the last corner. What's it going to be? Oh no, again it's still not good enough, so we're going to actually have to do a second stint most likely, unless I can really try and save this fuel. So then we're out here again for a second stint. I didn't really have the fuel to do a decent lap time. The tyres are pretty worn, so hopefully we should be able to do it fairly easily on this lap. But we just lose so much time for that last corner because of the anti-wheelie. Oh, okay. I've just noticed Lecuona had just crashed. I saw they come up that he crashed. Now he's on a 26.4. So I'm now going red in all the sectors because I'm guessing his time wasn't too good, but then he's going to glitch this last sector because of his crash. So we actually can't get through into qualifying 2 now because Lecuona has glitched it. We won't be able to beat his time because you can't do a 26.4 at the circuit. Well, you might be able to if you're a world record or something. But yeah, it doesn't look like we can actually get through now because we're going to start 15th if we do, so that's fun. So at the last corner then, is it going to be enough as we come up towards the line? 29.3, that is second position, so that is the top time out of all the AI that have not got the glitch times, but Lecuona has got a 26.4, which is basically impossible for me to beat. But last time I checked, well last time I got second position in one of these sessions, it didn't advance me to the second one like it's supposed to. It made me start 15th, so because of Lecuona getting a glitch 26, it's actually impossible for me to get top of this session, so we might have to start P15 because getting second in here instead of going through to qualifying 2, but we'll end the session. Let's see if we actually get through, but I don't think we will. Yeah, so you can see here, Lecuona's number has got the white around it as he's advancing, but I've not, even though in MotoGP, the top 2 from qualifying 1 go through to qualifying 2. And this happened to me once before at Le Mans, I believe it was, and we started P15, we got given 15th position for that. But Lecuona here has got a glitch time of 1 minute 26.4, which has made it impossible for us to actually go any quicker than him. So we've got second place in the session. We've beaten all the AI with the legitimate times. Only just by just over a 1/10 of a second there to Franco Morbidelli, who should be in second position. But Lecuona with this glitch time, I think it's going to actually glitch us out of qualifying. So we're going to have to start P15 here for this race, which is not great. Hopefully we're able to fight our way through, but this time it's not my fault that I'm starting low down the order because I've got through, but Lecuona's got a glitch time, so it means you can't go top, and there's a bug in the game which makes it so if you get second you start 15th. I don't know whether they might have fixed the bug, so I could be going on about absolutely nothing and I might go straight through into qualifying 2 here, but I think the next thing we're going to have to do then is watch our Moto3 riders. So let's see how Daisy Jackson and Manuel Hernandez got on in qualifying, and let's see how they get on in the race. So then, Daisy Jackson has qualified in 12th position, whereas Hernandez 11th place, so once again, both in the top 3 rows of the grid, which is fantastic. Top 4 rows of the grid, which is our objective for qualifying. So they've both got the qualifying objective. Hernandez actually starting in front of Jackson. It's the first time in quite a while that that has actually happened. So hopefully he can try and take some momentum off of the back of that, but because we want them both to do as well as possible. Obviously last time they were pretty close on track in terms of positions. There was quite a big gap between them, but they were pretty close. So let's get this race started. Hopefully they can both try and threaten for a top 5 and potentially a podium, but top 10 would be good, of course. Top 5 would be even better. Let's see what they can do. Let's start this race. So then Yama Masia is on pole position, I believe, ahead of Antonelli, and then McPhee, but waiting for the lights to go out. Lights out, and away they go here for the Thai GP. Off the line they go. So good substitution there from Manuel Hernandez off the back of Gabby Rodriguez to go down towards the first corner. This is a tricky little corner. He's diving on the inside of Dennis Fodger. I think that is on the outside. There's Mino just behind him. Daisy Jackson slotting in behind Mino as they go down the straight then towards turn 2. Mino trying to get a bit of a slipstream off of the back of Manuel Hernandez. Hernandez kind of getting swamped a little bit. Going on the inside is not the best line. I think Jackson actually might be ahead of him now. Yes, Jackson has just moved ahead, so 11th to 12th position still for both my riders. Up the inside of, a bit of contact with Arbolino there. Jackson just nerfed Arbolino although he is the rider that they need to beat for the team's championship, of course. Messia still leads then, Antonelli in second position, and there's about 4 wide for third there. Jackson trying to get a bit of a slipstream off Dennis Fodger as they go down towards a tricky turn 4. Very easy to lose the front on the inside if you clip the curb, or even to just trail too much braking. Around the outside goes Hernandez, side by side for both our riders. This is not great. This is not what we want to see. Well, we want to see them both doing well. We want to see some battling, but we don't want them to crash into each other. Rodrigo trying to get involved as well. Rodrigo just forcing Hernandez to the outside. Can Hernandez try and swoop around the outside of Gabby Rodrigo, though, as he goes through this right-hander? Yes, Jackson's in front, sorry, but so I think Hernandez has got through as well on Gabby Rodrigo. Well, yes, he has, but now Kaito Toba is hanging it around the outside, and Rodrigo's trying to get back on the outside of him. So much action on this first lap for both the riders. That was a fantastic move by Toba because he's just got past Jackson as well. So Kaito Toba, even though he's not riding for me, fantastic move. I am quite impressed with that as we go down then towards the last corner on the circuit. The right-hander Messia has got a giant lead now in front of Antonelli. So Messia looks like he's going to check out once again. Around the outside goes Hernandez. So Hernandez seems like he's got the pace over Jackson in this one. But side by side they go up towards the line. You can see McPhee's dropped really far back because McPhee's only just in front of them now. So another team that's fairly close to us in the team's championship. Around the outside again for Hernandez. So Hernandez finally moves in front of Jackson, but I think Hernandez is going to have a slightly worse run than Jackson, and he's looking behind him as well. So side by side once again, our two riders going side by side for this entire race so far. It's very stressful when they started alongside each other, but it looks like Hernandez is making a move on Toba. Can he get up the inside? He's going for it. He's really going for it. He's got the inside line. I think he's going to get this one done. Yes, he is. So Hernandez now in front of Kaito Toba. Can Jackson try and follow him through? McPhee is the next target. Of course, looks like Jackson is going to follow him through. So Toba, after a bit of a rocket start and a really good move around the outside of both of them in the last sector of the previous lap, looks like he's going to finally lose out. Yes, Jackson goes through as well. So we're now up to 10th and 11th position. So one position each. Pretty good. Toba still on the inside, though. Toba's not giving up that 12th position. So that 11th position. He's currently in 12th, of course. But he's not giving up that 11th. And it looks like Rodrigo again trying to get involved. And that's actually... Oh, Jackson's now dropped behind Rodrigo as well. So Jackson's down to 13th position. That's cost her a load of time. Absolutely heaps of time there. She looks up the inside, but she can't quite pull it off. Now she's got Ralph Fernandez on the back of her. So Jackson in this one struggling. Look at that front tyre temperature, actually, though. That might be the cause of her struggle. She hasn't got enough temperature on that front tyre. Has she gone for a hard or something on the front? Because it seems like she's just not got any temperature, which could definitely be a problem. The only reason I'm flicking back and forward is to compare the temperature, and you can see Hernandez has actually got a decent amount, so that might be why Jackson's struggling a little bit, but she's looking for the move at the inside of Rodrigo, so she's still all over the back of Gabby, trying to get past him if possible. She might be able to do it down towards this first corner. Luckily, we can sort of keep an eye on both riders in the same camera shot. Side by side they go. Jackson goes on the inside, but no, not quite in front of Rodrigo, and she's probably not going to quite have a very good run compared to Fernandez behind her, so she's got to watch out for Raul, that's for sure. But she's got the slipstream. Can she get past Rodrigo here? Yes, she can. Mirror signal manoeuvre. Up into 12th position once again then, so back to where she started. Kaito Toba up ahead. Looks like she's probably not going to get much further up the road than that, because Hernandez has kind of checked out a little bit in front of them and is trying to catch up to the back of John McPhee. So we'll stay with Daisy Jackson and let's see if she can try and catch up to the back of Kaito Toba. So as they start the penultimate lap of the race, and Daisy Jackson has now closed up to the back of Kaito Toba quite a bit, so hopefully she was trying to out-drag him down this straight. I don't think she's quite close enough to do that. Similarly with Hernandez in front trying to close it to the back of John McPhee, he's not going to quite be able to do that, well, on this straight at least. He should be able to do it later in the race. There goes Jackson though, actually, so I was a little bit wrong about that. She steams around the outside of Kaito Toba. Nothing Toba could do about it, so Toba absolutely powerless to stop her. And there she goes then, up into 11th position. Her teammate just in front of her, who's actually right on the back of John McPhee now. So he used the slipstream on that previous straight to catch up to John. And now he looks like he's going for a move around the outside towards the tricky turn 4. McPhee goes a little bit defensive. I believe he did this move to Jackson earlier, though. Yes, he did. Around the outside, Hernandez goes past McPhee. So that's twice he's pulled off that around the outside through turn 4 manoeuvre. Once on his teammate. Now once on John McPhee. So up into 9th position. Can he try and catch up to the back of Andrea Mino? I don't think so. I think Mino is a little bit out of touch here. A little bit too far in front of, although of course the penultimate lap is the next lap, so it's very much possible that with, 2 and a bit laps to go, he could catch up to the back of Andrea Mino. I'm not giving up hope, but Mino has got a little bit of a gap. Actually, they've really taken a lot of time out of him in this sector, so it looks like Mino is actually struggling, and this is really becoming a bit of a train now. So I think McPhee probably lost a bit of time more than Hernandez gaining time on him, because now it looks like Jackson is all over the back of her fellow countryman John McPhee as well. As we go down towards the final turn, is Jackson looking up the inside of McPhee? Yes, she is, but she's not going to quite do it there. Almost a bit of contact, so close between the two Brits. But there we go, down the straight. A little bit of slipstream there you can see Hernandez has got from Mino. So Hernandez has definitely got his sights set on Mino. And here comes Jackson up the inside of John McPhee. There she goes, beautiful move. McPhee round the outside though. I don't think he's going to quite have it. Yes, he has to get out of the power to not go off the track limits. So McPhee loses a little bit of time there. And that is it then. Jackson up into 10th place. Hernandez in 9th. Can they both try and get Mino on this lap? Because Hernandez looks like he's definitely going to get Mino. So I was saying that it's impossible for him to catch up to Mino, but Mino lost so much time then through that lap, and Hernandez caught right up to the back of him, and he's going to do what he did to McPhee, I think. Use the first straight to get really close, and then the second one to power pass and go around the outside through turn 4. I think that's what he's going to go for, although it looks like he's more hanging to the inside this time. So is he going to try and go the inside into turn 4? Going to try a completely different move this time. Not quite enough, but now Jackson is closing up as well. So this is going to become a trio very, very shortly. In fact, it is a trio now. Jackson immediately closes up. Let's switch to her, see if she's got the tyre temperature. Not quite, but now she's all over the back of Hernandez. So she's got the pace at this point. So once again, the two riders are going to go side by side, aren't they? I don't know if I can take it. My two riders going at it, hammer and tong. This could be an extremely, extremely risky prospect for me, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out for both of them. The number 37 of Hernandez versus the number 8 of Daisy Jackson. Can they make it through cleanly? I've just realised as well that I don't know why I picked to put a red number on a red bike. I don't know why it's taken me all season to actually say anything about that, but yeah, I've just kind of thought about it. Why is there a red number 37 on a red bike? But it doesn't really matter as we go through this right-hander, trying to power it out down the straight. So in the slipstream of Andrea Mino, can Hernandez do anything about it down towards this first corner? Because if he doesn't pass Mino, Jackson is definitely going to pass him. So it's one or the other for Hernandez here. He's either going to gain or lose a position, and he's got to make his mind up which one he's going to go for. So in the slipstream of Mino then is Hernandez, but at the same time Jackson is in the slipstream of Hernandez down towards this turn 3 here. Can Hernandez get past Mino? It doesn't look like it, and Jackson can't get past Hernandez either as they go through this right-hander. Mino going very, very tight. He's not going to have the power out of here. Hernandez taking a bit of a berm line, a bit of a Romano Fenati line actually through that corner. But now the two Hondas are side by side, the two DHL Biker Racing Hondas, a little bit side by side on that straight. Can Hernandez do anything down towards this turn 4? So this is where he passed McPhee and Jackson earlier on in the race. Can he do it? Jackson's going to try and do what Hernandez did to her earlier, but not quite. Although she's got the run. Yes, she's through. Jackson's through to around the outside, but she's not going to quite hold it. I don't think she's getting on the power extremely early. Side by side still between the two of them. I don't know if I can take this. Don't crash into each other, guys. Please. Please don't crash. And again, around the outside is Hernandez now. So this is actually some fantastic racing between the two Biker Racing Hondas here. And they've got a lot of respect for each other, clearly, because there's been no contact or anything like that so far. And Hernandez still around the outside. It's allowed Toba to catch right up. Toba's on the inside of Hernandez now. Hernandez has lost out here by trying to get back past his teammate. Oh no, Toba has got through. Toba around the outside of Hernandez here. He's down to 11th position. He's lost out by trying to beat Jackson. And Mino is the real big winner here because he stayed on in that position. As they go into the last corner, Gabby Rodriguez up the inside as well. So it's gone from bad to worse for Manuel Hernandez. So they're going to come home in 10th, and it could be 11th position. 9th and 11th. So yes, Hernandez just hangs on to 11th there. So then, at the end of the race, Yama Masia won as predicted because he absolutely bolted away, although only 8 tenths in front of Fenati. So Fenati somewhat kept him honest in that one. And unfortunately, my two riders started tripping over each other, going side by side. It was some fantastic battling between the two of them, but it cost Manuel Hernandez, unfortunately. He's lost a position to Kaito Toba, so perhaps we will need to have some words with them. Of course, Jackson was just trying to maybe have a go at Andrea Mino, but they both should have perhaps backed out of the move. You know, after Jackson had got through and had got round the outside and then was on the inside, perhaps Hernandez should have just rolled out the throttle and let her have the place, or, you know, alternatively, she should have, when she was stuck on the outside, she should have perhaps let Hernandez have it so they didn't lose all that time to Toba. But in the end then, Jackson comes home in 9th and Hernandez home in 11th. They both still beat the Snipers boys, so it's not the end of the world. Both beat the both Petronas bikes as well. Obviously, unfortunately, they probably both cost themselves a chance at getting Andrea Mino, but it looked like he was going to probably hang on anyway, so unfortunate for Hernandez to lose a position to Toba, but these things happen in racing. They're both going for it. They didn't have contact or anything, it was just because they were battling so hard. So both objectives actually achieved in the race. I never actually mentioned it, but both in the top 15, both in the top 12 in qualifying. So that's absolutely fantastic. In the points championship then, Jackson's actually closing up to John McPhee, so Jackson's got a chance at getting in the top 10 of the championship here. Obviously only 11 points back of John McPhee now. With 4 races to go, it's theoretically possible that she could get that top 10 in the championship, which would be fantastic for our team. Hernandez still sat in 12th place, but safely ahead of Gabby Rodrigo behind him, so I think Hernandez should hold on to that 12th place without any worries. And in the teams championship, we move ahead of the Snipers team to 5th position, so a top 5 for us in the teams championship would be absolutely fantastic. Would be basically just as good as a top 10 in the Riders Championship. If we could get that top 10 and the top 5 here, that would be really, really good. It is still really, really close, so we've definitely not got this 5th place in the bag. Hopefully we should have at least 6th, but I think we should be able to keep beating the Snipers because we've upgraded the bike to a fairly good standard. I think there's actually a bike upgrade will be now finished after this race, so we'll have to have a look at the end of the episode, perhaps having a look at what we can do on the upgrade front. There might be some things to have a look at potentially there. But now we've got to go on to the MotoGP race where I've got to start 15th because of the Q2 glitch. And of course the glitch where Lecona got top spot in Q1, which caused the Q2, you know, the failure to get to Q2 glitch. So a little bit annoying there, but 15th on the grid, it will be a nice challenge. We've got plenty of laps. We've got fairly decent pace here because we did manage to go top of the session in the end. So if we could try and just do something decent, that'd be good. See what we can do. Try and wrap up the championship if we can. I don't know if we'll wrap up all 3, but it is a possibility. So let's see if we can do the triple. But we've definitely got to go for the riders and the constructors. That's for sure. So down here on the grid then, Jack Miller on pole position. That is a surprise. I didn't expect to see that. Valentino Rossi alongside him there. So quite a surprising first and second on the grid there. So where is Marc Marquez in this race? Because if he's not too far up, this could be quite beatable. Franco Morbidelli then, the other Petronas bike, in 9th position. So we're actually not going to find out where Marquez is until we have a proper good look at the grid rundown. 9-lap race, so I think a medium tyre is probably the way to go for this one. I might regret that decision later on. We're actually 17th on the grid. We're not even 15th. I thought it was 15th, but we're 17th on the grid. So the glitch is even worse, it seems, unless I just remembered it incorrectly. But please fix this for MotoGP 20 if possible. But for MotoGP 21, definitely make sure this glitch is fixed. First and second both go through into qualifying 2. Don't put the guy 17th on the grid that was second place, because it's actually put 3rd place through, hasn't it? Because Morbidelli's 8th on the grid. So yeah, it's put Morbidelli through into qualifying 2 and not me. So yeah, that's quite annoying, to be honest, especially considering it's not even like I just got second. I actually got second because the guy that got first had a time that was 3 seconds quicker than you can go. So yeah, it was a little bit weird there, but 17th on the grid. Let's see what we can do. Not sure where Mark is. He's not in 1st or 2nd, but he's probably in 3rd, let's be honest.
The warm-up lap has just finished and the riders have taken their places on the starting grid. The Thai Grand Prix is about to start.
So then Miller on pole. He's got a hard front, medium rear. Rossi's got soft front, medium rear. And Marquez looks like he's got medium. So that's what they've got. Marquez is, of course, 3rd on the grid then. But waiting for the lights we got here. Lights out and away we go. Here for the Thai GP from 17th on the grid. Which is absolutely unbelievable because it's a glitch that's put us here in the first place. But I'll stop going on about that now. Petrucci on the inside. A bit of contact with Petrucci, my former bike, of course, that was on the inside. The bike that we won the world title on in the last season of career mode on the Red Bull KTM Tech 3. There goes Martin on the inside, blasting past on that Ducati. But we're braking as late as we can for turn 2 here, right behind Takaki Nakagami. We've got quite a few riders on the inside there. Martin has actually had a really good start. He's passed quite a few riders there. Around the outside of Martin, there we go. Bit of slipstream off of Brad Binder. Miguel Oliveira just in front of us, getting some slipstream off Miguel as well. Down the straight, bit of weaving going on up ahead. From a few riders, a few people braking a bit early. It looks like Paulus Bagger has been edged out round the outside of, that's Fabio Quartararo. He's far down the order. So we've passed Fabio then. Rins just in front of us there. So our teammate Rins, and then you can see Mir at a few positions up the road. Quartararo still got the inside though, so Quartararo back in front, but we were able to dive up the inside, not quite. This is the sector where they are actually pretty good. They were in qualifying at least anyway. So we've made up to 11th position, so it's been a fairly good start so far. We're looking at the inside though, once again, of Fabio Quartararo. He's going to run out of road trying to go around the outside of Paulus Bagro there, that's for sure. They've all gone quite wide. That's going to allow me through, surely. Yes, it is. A bit of contact with Fabio. I kind of cut him up a little bit, and that might have affected me more than him, but we've kept in front of him. No, we've not actually. He had the better line around the outside goes Fabio, so still in 11th position. We've braked so late for this last corner. We're going to have to look at the inside of Paul as well. A little bit of contact with Paulus Bagro, so this has not been a clean lap, so I apologise for that, guys. But there we go then, up into 9th position. I perhaps should give that position back, but I've not got time for messing around. Of course, the game is giving me a glitch, which is the reason why I'm so far down the order. So I'm going to be a little bit more ruthless than, if I just qualify poorly. In the slipstream of Alex Rins then, there we go, blasting past Rins on the straight. Up into 8th position, Morbidelli up next. Can we try and outbrake Morbidelli? Yes, we can, up the inside, bit of a stoppy. But there we go, past Morbidelli we go. He tries to hang it around the outside, not sure why he was doing that, but he's gone so wide because of that. So we're now up into 7th position. My teammate Joan Mir up next, trying to get a distant toe from him, but it's not going to be enough to catch him up into turn 4, that's for sure. So we're going to have to sit behind him for a little while. So we tip it through turn 4 on the power, sliding that rear tyre right to the edge of the circuit. I can see Marquez is actually in the lead, so it didn't matter that he started 3rd because he's still leading the race anyway. As long as we can get up into 2nd position, we win the World Championship, so that's what we're going to look at. And we also win the Constructors' Championship if that is the case as well. But we're not going to win the Teams' Championship in this position, that's for sure. Obviously with Mir being in 6th, although it will be 7th if we go past him. Hopefully he can try and get past Dovizioso, which he actually is looking like he's trying to. I've gone a little bit wide. I thought I was going to allow Morbidelli through, but not quite, fortunately for myself there. Not quite allowed Franco through. So there we go, trying to carry the speed as we go down towards the final turn. I don't want to outbrake myself again like I did on the previous lap. Dovi really squeezing Mir, and that's allowed me to just go past both of them like they're standing still, because Dovi squeezed Mir so much they had to both brake a little bit early. So up into 5th position there. 29.8 there, 29.9 from Marquez. So we're not quite as fast as I was in qualifying, I don't think. Marquez, though, is checking out. We've got a slightly better pace than him, but considering the lead he's got, it's going to be difficult to catch him. Although we have got nine laps in this race, that should be good enough. I would like to win the title with a win if it's possible. So down towards then this right-hander, Maverick Vinales up next, Valentino Rossi in front of him, and then Jack Miller, and then it's Marc Marquez up the road after that. So Jack Miller, as of late in the last couple of races, has been doing really well. He's definitely going to overtake Fabio Quartararo, because Quartararo is so far down in this race. They're battling for third in the championship. But Vinales goes past Valentino, and I'm going to probably have to try and follow suit. Up the inside of Rossi we go. That was a really good move. I like that one a lot. We gained so much on Valentino, and up the inside we go. So up into 4th place then. So Rossi looks like he's perhaps struggling now. He's not quite got the race pace that he had in qualifying. So, well, he's not got the race pace to match his qualifying pace, which is very unlike the Doctor, of course. Usually very much on the race pace, not so much the qualifying pace, but this time it seems inverted. So Miller then will be Vinales' next target, but Vinales is my next target. Looks like Maverick actually has got some sort of decent pace, because he's actually closing up to the back of Jack a little bit there. So to hit the brakes then for the last corner. Once again, I've gone in a little bit hotter than the AI, but not too close to them this time, so I've not bashed anyone out of the way. Trying to get a good exit out of the last corner, and we actually really have, side by side with Vinales, 29.6 on that lap then, so that'll be a bit quicker than what Marc Marquez did, that's for sure. So we're now up into 3rd, but we've gone in a little bit wide into the first corner. That's probably going to allow Maverick to get a bit of a run on me. It's definitely going to allow Miller to stay safe. Quartararo's now dropped down to 12th position. I've just seen on the left-hand side. So Fabio Quartararo is absolutely having a terrible race here. As we get out the last corner then, 1 minute 30.1. That is not the kind of lap time I want. We're right on the back of Jack Miller. Up the inside into the first corner. I've braked quite early, but we're still out-braking him anyway. He's going to hang it around the outside, a little bit like McPhee and Dixon in the Moto3 race then. Not Dixon, sorry, Jackson. Dixon is not in Moto3, he's in Moto2. But here we go then to the left-hand side. Can we get past Miller? Yes, we can. Around the outside we go. 1.3 seconds then to Marc Marquez, but I've gone off the circuit actually, so that's going to allow Miller back through, is it? No, it's not actually. So Miller hasn't quite got back in front of us there, which I thought he would do. Up to traction control 3, because that rear tyre is getting a little bit hot for my liking. And now the hunt is on for Marc Marquez. He's got a big lead, so we need to see what we can do and try and take a few chunks out of it, that's for sure. 1.4 seconds, so he's actually increased the gap so far. So 5 laps complete, 4 to go, 1.3 still, so we're not really making many inroads at the minute on Marc. So at the end of this lap then, 29.5, fastest lap of the race, only half a second behind Marquez now, so we took a big chunk, we took 8 tenths out of him on that lap, so we should be on him by the end of this lap if we keep that pace up. We should catch him around halfway through this lap and start having a bit of a battle with him. Of course, we're on lap 7 and 9, so we've only got 3 laps to go, so we have got to keep an eye on that, and I need to keep an eye on the fuel as well. If you see, we're very, very marginal with it, even though I've been running in power mode 1 the entire race. We're only 2 tenths behind Marc now, so hopefully we can try and get a bit of a move past him. We might be able to pass him on the run up towards turn 4 here, go up into power mode 1. Can we do anything about it? In the slipstream of Marquez, we're not going to be able to pass here, I don't think. I'm not going to go for it anyway, it'd be a little bit too risky. We don't want to have contact with him 2 races in a row, really, do we? Obviously, we had contact in the previous one, but we're going for it on the inside to turn 5. Oh, that was so close. Marquez left the room, though. And we're now side by side with him sliding up the inside of Mark. Here we go. He's hanging it around the outside. Will I get the cutback, though, through this section? Marquez gets the inside, but yes, I do get the cutback on the power. Side by side with Mark. There we go. Up into the lead of the race, hitting the brakes then. Up into the lead of the race. I don't know why I was going to say it again, but on the 7th lap of the race, and we've gone from 17th to 1st. 2/10 of a second lead already. Well, I suppose that's easily done. As soon as there's a little bit of a gap between you, that's about 2/10 immediately. A little bit of air, of course, when you can't really be right on the back wheel of the other guy. So we hit the brakes for the final turn. It'll be interesting to see what this lap time is. Will it be another new fast lap of the race? Probably not, because of course we were battling a little bit throughout this one. So as we come up towards the line, get 29.8, so not quite as good, but we've got 6/10 of a mark now. So we start the penultimate lap of the race. So it has been a really, really good one so far, that's for sure. So as we start the final lap of the race, then I think that might be a new fastest lap. Yes, it is. 1 minute 29.4. We're now second in front of Marc Marquez, so we're putting a bit more time into him. And now here it is, the last lap of the race, the last lap before we are crowned the world champion, and Suzuki are crowned the Constructors' world champions. It has been a pretty dominant season, must be said. Obviously, last time it went right down to the wire, of course, between myself and Marc Marquez on the Tech 3. It went down to Valencia. It looked like it was Marc's championship to lose with about 3 to go. I think he could actually have wrapped it up at Phillip Island, theoretically, but actually, I don't think he could quite do it at Phillip Island. But at Sepang, he could have wrapped it up, but he ended up actually losing the world championship because of a run of bad luck, and obviously his brother/teammate as well, which was definitely a bit of a boost to myself. I've gone a little bit wide there. I don't want to allow Mark to close up, of course. We don't want to lose this race right at the end. Not that it would matter in the championship or the Constructors' Championship, but I really want to win this on track. I want to win this for myself. I want to win this for Suzuki. Not sure if we're going to stay with this team for next year, of course. I have seen I've seen a suggestion in the comments below for who we should sign for next season. Let me know if you are actually still watching at this point in the video, who you want us to sign for next season. As we flick the bike over, Marcus made some inroads on us, but it's not going to be enough. As we go down towards the final turn, just going to brake nice and early, no risk, no point risking losing the front through this last turn. So through the last corner, then coming up towards the line, we've won the championship for the 2nd season in a row, but this time on the Suzuki. So in the end then, we won by 9/10 of a second, ahead of Marc Marquez in 2nd position, 2.5 ahead of Jack Miller in 3rd, Vinales hung on to 4th place, Rossi 5th, and Joan Mir, our teammate, in 6th position. Dovi ending up actually dropping into 8th position after, of course, we saw him squeeze Mir onto the curb. Quartararo recovered to 10th, but not a good finish for the Frenchman. Apparently fastest lap went to Alex Marquez with a 28.5. Yeah, it seems pretty realistic for the AI to do in the race. So then this graphic definitely confirms it then. We win the World Championship, 113 points, 100 left available, so we've won no matter what happens now. Of course, we're going to still try and win the last 4 races of the season, but we don't even have to bother turning up if we don't want to. We've already won the championship. But Miller has now, in fact, overtaken Fabio Quartararo for that 3rd place in the championship. So that's really hotting up between Miller and the 2 factory Yamahas. You can see Rossi not a million miles away from it as well, but he's more in the battle for 6th place with Dovizioso and Rins. And then obviously Polo Spagro seems to be a little bit on his own, but again, he's not a million miles away from those guys. So in the team's championship then, we're actually so close to actually winning it at this round. Only 2 points between us actually winning it and losing it there. So unfortunately, if Mir had done a little bit better, we actually would have done the triple here, wrapping up the Constructors, Riders and Teams Championship, because we needed a 180 point lead coming out of this race to actually win the Constructors World Championship. But so the Teams Championship, we've won the Constructors, I think, if we have a look at that on the next screen. But yeah, so close. We should be able to wrap it up at the next one, so it'd be very nice for us to win both championships, of course. Repsol Honda actually extending their gap a little bit over Monster Energy Yamaha, and I think Michelin and Ducati are kind of falling out of it a little bit now, so I wouldn't be surprised if those 3 kind of stay static for the rest of the season. Although Polo Spagro has not really been holding his end up on the Repsol Honda, so if the 2 Monster Energy Yamahas pick up their slack a little bit, they could definitely get that 2nd position back. And in the Constructors' Championship then, 112 point lead. Once again, like I said before, 100 points left up for grabs. So we've won the Constructors and the Riders Championships in this episode. We can win the teams in the next one. Let's see if we can do it. But we'll head back to the career hub now. Of course, no incidents to look at in that race. There's no crashes, I don't think. So yeah, we'll head back to the career hub and see what we've gained from this week. So then on the reputation front, gaining nothing from qualifying, of course, because we got the glitch. But we gained 13,200 reputation points, which takes us up to 686,100. And on the credits front, then we gain 80,000 from the Moto3 junior team there, and we gain 31,000 from my own, so we gain 112,506 overall, which takes us up to 994,664 credits. And like last weekend, really, we had a fantastic weekend in the Moto3 junior team. The riders are really getting good now. The bike is pretty good, both in the top 4 rows in qualifying, both in the top 15 in the race. So we gained 328 total prestige, and on the research data as well, we gained 325. So a really good weekend for our Moto3. So we've actually got a message here then. So the team manager of Nicole Bianchi has been confirmed in biker racing for next season. Starting this week and until the end of the year, you can choose which sponsor and manufacturer you want to sign a sponsorship agreement and the riders to hire to compete in next year's championship. If you decide to keep your team as it is, your team manager will automatically renew the contract with all the current team members by the end of the year. So that's quite interesting. We can actually have a look at some more things for next year for the team planning. Of course, current contract, Nicole Bianchi, I think we actually assigned her sort of midway through this season because she was pretty good. Perhaps the actual sorting out for the next year's team, we might leave that until after Valencia because you get a few weeks after that. That's what I always do for the sorting different things out. So if we have a look at the bike development then, nothing we can do. We haven't got enough performance points, but we're pretty close. So if they actually have another good weekend like that, what they had this weekend for the next one, they should actually have enough to upgrade one component on here, because we need 2063 to upgrade one of these, or 2100 to gain one of these. I think it should be enough for either. It'll take 10 weeks to do as well, so that will probably go into the next year, I would assume. Nothing we can actually do on the team development because there's still things going there, so nothing we can really do on here unless you look at team planning for next year. Okay, so we can change more things on here. We can change the riders, we can change the technical director, but we already changed them. So if we have a look at the different bikes, so we've got quite a few different sponsorship offers, so we'll probably need to have a look at that potentially. Obviously we've got slightly better Hondas here. I don't know if it actually makes a difference whether the bikes are actually better or if it just means you get more money for it, but perhaps we could swap to a Parts Europe bike next year. We'll have to have a look. Like I said, I think I'll kind of judge it at the end of the season. That's where we'll leave it off here then. I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. Let me know what I should do in terms of who I should sign for the next season. Every team is available, of course. I know I said it in the previous episode, and I did get suggested the Sky VR46 Avintia team, so that is obviously the favourite for the minute, so that's probably what I'll go with, you know, if that's what you guys want to see. But again, if you don't want to see that, if you want to see something else, let me know in the comments below, and we can pick who I will race for next season. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.